Welcome back, YouTube, to Beer It day number 365. That's right, I've made it all the way through 365 days, 365 consecutive different beers. Right, it's New Year's Eve here in Australia, New Year's Eve day. Nice, beautiful day, good as gold. I've got 4X Gold for you, right? Used to drink it a fair bit, I don't anymore, but it's Australia's #1 beer. It's outsold every other beer. A little about the product. It was not the Gold, but the 4X company. A lot of people don't know about the name and all that, and I'll give you a bit of a rundown and shit and how it all come about. But in 1887, Nicholas and Edward Fitzgerald were working down in Victoria for another brewing company, and they thought they'd take their beer recipe up to Brisbane in Queensland state and create their own beer. That was in 1877. Now, in the 1900s, they had a problem with the beer was getting a bit too cloudy when they tried to export it around. So they brought in a German brewer named, I think his name was William Lether, or Anlos William Ether, right? So they brought him over here to perfect the cloudiness of beer, and so it could stay fresh while they transported it all over Australia and around the world. And their recipe is still used today in their 4X bitter to export it. So they gave it the First and Second World War. They used to transport it to the troops around the world. The troops used to call it barbed wire. Take that as you will, right? Now, how they became the name 4X? Well, in 1924, or the year before that, 1924, they used to rate beer in number of X's. They used to give it an X, like 1X is shit, 2X is good, 3X is even better. So when they first started out, it was 3 X's. So by 1924, they perfected it, and it became 4X. They got the 4 X's. So basically, it's not how Queenslanders or whatever can't spell beer, or how Aussies spell beer, but that's how the beers around got their marking with 1X, 2X, 3X, and obviously when they got the top line, they got 4X. So that's how it's become about. Now, if you're seeing the little man, little 4X, right, the 4X man or whatever, he's got a little top hat and a little goatee or whatever. Now, he could be a couple of things. He could be a little paper seller, right, that was in the Fortitude Valley down there. It could be named after Paddington, which was Nicholas's and Edward's, I think, grandfather as well. But there's still a mystery around of how the little man come about. Now, in 1992, this is when 4X Gold come about. Now I'm gonna I'll crack it open, right? So 4X Gold has only been around since 1992, but the 4X company's been around since 1877. But that being said, and I've by 1999, their 5 billionth stubby rolled off their factory floor. So that's by 1990, their 5 billionth stubby. So, I mean, there's only 20 back then. Shit, well now there's only about 26 million people in Australia, so it just goes to show you how much we love to drink beer, or how good of a product it is. But not only that, like they're always supporting community charities, just like any big multi-million-dollar national beer company does. But they've I don't know, they've just gone probably maybe a little bit further with the oven. They introduced the stubby. Now you see us drink a glass bottle. Well, that's a 375ml stubby. It was first rolled out of their factory as well. Now, Gold is one standard drink. It's a little bit, it's got a little bit of malt taste, a tiny little bitterness, but other than that, it's just near, little bit salty, little bit, drinking a bit like water. A bit like barbed wire. It's not as harsh, but there's 4X bitter, there's 4X dry, there's 4X light, there's heaps of 4X now. And they're their only company. I think in 2012 they bought their own island. And it's called the 4X Island. So it's the only, well, they were the first company. I don't know if other companies have, but they've actually bought their own island off the northern coast of Australia in the Great Barrier Reef. They call it the 4X Island as well. So why did I leave this for last? Because it's the #1 beer here in Australia. It's probably sold all around the world. I'm not going to rate it. It's just I can drink it all the time. I used to drink it. I don't prefer to drink it. But that being said, it's, you know, I've done the Foster's, the VB, and now the Gold. Fairly well carbonated. It's not a bad tasting beer. If you want to have a really good session, you can get on it. But yeah, this year I tried to do a lot of craft beers here in Australia, and there's a lot of better beers than 4X Gold out, but you got to give credit where credit's due. So yeah, my favourite beer of the year, oh, I couldn't tell you. There's been too many, obviously, and yeah, ranging from, you know, you got your porters and you got your blacks and, you know, stouts, pale ale, Indian pale ale, IPA, double IPA, triple, all whatever. It's opened my eyes up with, you know, the different types of beer out there, and I'll never look at beer the same ever again. I find out the European style pilsners are near got all the same sort of flavour, unless they mix it up a little bit. Whereas Australia, they're up and they're going off. Like with all your craft beer, it's really growing. And I encourage you, if you're not used to fancy beer, whatever, go get something that you haven't tried. It's that's all. I'd never really tried really fancy beer until I started this challenge. So it's a beautiful sunny day here in Australia. Good for a 4X Gold or anything. So yeah, as for next year, I don't think I'll be doing it every single day. The jury's still out on that, but I doubt it. What you probably don't see behind the scenes is that I travel every fortnight roundabout. I normally travel about 200 kilometres just to go get some beers. So what's that, about 90 mile, 100 mile every fortnight, and the price ranges from anywhere from, you know, $60 odd to $80, depending if I like splash out a bit. So, but I've enjoyed it all along. Even though, you know, I might be hungover one day and I'd be like, holy dooly, I've got to have another beer or something. That's a bit hard, but hey, it gives you the courage, and not the courage, but just, you know, a bit of a challenge. But if you're looking for something different and you're sick of drinking the same old usual stuff, find yourself a place where they import craft beer in Australia, and start off with like a pale ale, and you know, if you like your black beers, don't be hesitant. There's plenty of good black beers out here in Australia. Support your locals, otherwise I'll get bought out. Like, I'm pretty sure this mob's bought out by the Japanese now. It could even be South Africa, I'm not too sure. With that being said, as good as gold, it's been a good year, good gold year, I should say. And I'm raving on a bit too much here, but I'll catch us back here on the flip side next year. probably with another beer. I might do some more challenges and all that for you and all that. But we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, I'd like to thank all my subscribers, anyone that watches it, whoever, doesn't really matter. My friends, my family, and most importantly, me missus for putting up with the rot. She tells me every day what beer I'm on, or what day I'm on, just about. So even just before she was telling, you know what day you're on, I'm like, nah. No, but I'm only joking. So a big thanks to her. She's the one behind the scenes. So yeah. But anyhow, people, that's it for beer year. Done and dusted. Just remember to be kind to one another. Go get yourselves a cart and a barbed wire. I'll catch you back here on the flip side sometime shortly. Take it easy, people.